Alright, so the Grammys were not too long ago, and I feel like there's a lot to talk about, specifically with the whole Drake and Kendrick thing. As we've seen, Kendrick has another sweep under his belt with the whole, 5 Grammys for one song. And let's get one thing clear here. Not Like Us is hard, like don't get me twisted, but it was not even the hardest song of that beef. It was not even the hardest song out of Kendrick's in that beef. That title goes to Euphoria. But at the end of the day, No Like Us is more of a thing that is easy to just play in any circumstance, so I get why that was the big hit, whatever. But the thing is, Drake kind of brought this all on himself. At first, I was, listen, Kendrick has always been a better rapper, and I've always, kind of liked Kendrick more. But the thing is, I have been giving Drake so many passes and excuses and everything for the past, since the beef started basically. And honestly, a lot of it still holds up because Kendrick fans can be extremely annoying and losers. But Drake's attitude of this whole thing has just been very childlike. The suing people, the getting mad at people for various things, like getting mad at your close friends for dancing to somebody calling you a kid toucher. I get that. That is a horrible thing. But getting mad at random people for listening to a song or for liking a song in general is just no. And the thing is, a lot of this anti-Drake stuff happening, especially in the Grammys, I feel like they didn't come together. These awards should mean nothing to if you're a rap person. You shouldn't even care about these awards because Tupac has 0 Grammys. Biggie has 0 Grammys. A lot of these rappers who are considered the best ever have 0 Grammys. So if anything, okay, first of all, I do not believe that having a lot of sales means you're a better artist. You can have more sales than somebody else and be trash. Drake has more sales than Kendrick for the past, decade. But at the same time, the Grammys are a collection of a couple thousand people that were in the music industry, and they just choose who they think is the best person. Half the time for political reasons. There's no reason to also view that as an actual measure of quality or success. Music is more subjective than any other genre to me. I don't fault anyone for wanting a Grammy, any artist who grows up, their dream is to get a Grammy. I understand that. And I'm always happy for people who feel like that, like Doji or something. I don't mind that. But at the same time, this idea that Kendrick is inherently better than Drake because he won a bunch of Grammys decided by a bunch of randos is just idiotic. It's even more idiotic than the idea that Drake is necessarily better than Kendrick because he has more sales than him. But speaking of that argument, when Drake won his Grammy, which again, Tupac doesn't have, he went on this whole thing about how, basically what I just said earlier, about how Grammys mean nothing because they're just a bunch of randos in a room deciding who they want based off what they like. And I feel the Grammy people took that very personally. I feel I don't think that's the reason the beef happened and everything. I think that's more a label thing. And Drake being a weirdo to his friends thing. But I do think the Grammy people were super bitter about that and have retaliated by giving one song that called Drake a kid toucher, 1 million Grammys just because they want to spite him. And to be fair to, Aubrey, that is kind of corn. I mean, I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, I don't understand how that could be, cool to people. Especially because these are the same people who also talk about how the industry's against them. When Youngboy goes against the industry, all of a sudden it's a cool thing. But when Drake does it, it's you're just a bitter loser. And again, Drake has brought this on himself, so I get why he would be a bitter loser against the rap industry. But against the Grammys, who cares what they want? Who cares what they think? They're just literal randos. I mean, they are musicians, a lot of them, so I'm not gonna say they're just they have no idea what they're talking about. But what I am gonna say is why is their opinion more valuable than anybody else's opinion? These people are motivated by social factors. They didn't pick Not Like Us because it was actually the best rap song of the year. It wasn't. They picked it because it was the most popular hit, disparaging someone they hate. Nothing about that is cool or hard. I also saw that Drake is announcing his new album soon. Apparently Drake is now teasing his collab with PND. I'm surprised by how many people in the, replies to the tweets I saw were pretty positive. I think that he's just banned from rap now. And even still, there are people still trashing him, which, comes with the territory. I mean, he's dropped a lot of songs since the beef ended, and they've all been trashed. And the most annoying thing about it is, the songs he's dropping aren't even worse than the songs he's dropping before the beef. They're the same quality. Because Drake is the new Meek Mill, he's just seen as a loser inherently. So nobody's gonna take any rap from him seriously. Which, is annoying to me because that's how I would feel like, 8 years ago, and nobody was like on my side back then. Now that he's like the main villain of the rap game right now, it's like cool to like, just trust everything he does no matter what it is. And I'm like, here's the thing though. These songs aren't even like actually trash. They're just the type of music he's been making for the past like 5 years. And the same music that you've all been like meat riding and dick sucking before that. All of a sudden, because a guy from Compton told you it wasn't cool, now it's not cool to you. But I do kind of feel like if I was Drake, I would also be omnicidal. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, seeing a whole room full of people like in real life, like all these artists and rappers and singers and all these actors who like literally you rub shoulders with, dancing, smiling, happy to call you a kid toucher. Like, I mean, this is how school shootings happen. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm just saying, like, I really, he is the reason this is happening, obviously, because of his attitude and his like poor decisions and his low IQ strategy of not coming out with his like, cap response of I baited everything right like in preparation of the supposed Kendrick diss. So, I mean, he should blame himself, I guess, but at the same time, it hurts. It would hurt to see like these people just like dancing and smiling at your demise. If I were him, I'd be a trench coat wearer too. I will say one thing that also annoyed me is like people are quoting that thing where he's like, Kendrick just opened his mouth. Someone go hand him a Grammy right now. As if it's like, oh, this aged poorly. How did it age poorly? What just happened perfectly proved his points. It entirely proved his points. This is not the best song of the year. It won 5 Grammys. It's clear there's a reason Kendrick is winning Grammys. It's not just because he's the best rapper, even though he is the best rapper. This isn't the best song. This is clearly like some sort of agenda being pushed. And Drake can barely even complain about himself because he had the same agenda working for him like 10 years ago. But still, at the end of the day, this is like not real. This is not like a real, genuine accomplishment. Oh, this is like the greatest thing ever. This is like people in a room coming together to say, we don't like this person and we like this person because of reasons. So we're going to make him seem like he's like the most talented person ever. And the truth is, Kendrick is more talented than every rapper right now. But this is not proof of that. Proof of that is just in like the song itself. Like, he just is a better rapper. Like, it's just clear by how he acts. It's not apparent because some randos in a building decided he was the best rapper. It's the streets who say he's the best rapper, and they're actually correct on this front. But, I will say though, by the positive response that Drake's like teaser's getting, I mean, a lot of it's just because like, I guess the super anti-Drake people are kind of like moving on a little, but still, I feel like his collab album probably won't be like a smash hit, especially now with this like idiotic lawsuit going on, but it might not be panned like the rest of his stuff has been since he came out. Like, it might actually be something that people, at least as fans, are like willing to defend and are gonna come out and actually like stand up for. And then also the haters who are just like, Kendrick meat riders, who aren't even Kendrick meat riders at this point. They're really just leftists who like hijack the organization because they hate Drake for various reasons. But they probably won't even have much to say about this either because, they can't really tie it to any rap beef. They can't use it as an argument he's a trash rapper because they're gonna be rapping on it. Stuff like that. So, in general, I would say that the Grammys are whatever. I don't want to know these people in real life. And you can't, in one breath, say that you believe that the Grammys are nothing and that they're not a symbol of actual quality when you're mad the Grammys isn't picking up black people. And then at the same time say like, oh, well, but having Grammys makes you super cool and makes you actually a legitimate artist. It doesn't work like that. At the end of the day, like I keep saying, at the end of the day, these are just people. Even if they are like musicians, like other fellow musicians, like their word is not law in terms of music. Again, music criticism can be real. Like, obviously, you can tell what effort's put into music. You can tell what effort's put into lyricism, what effort's put into production. I'm not saying that you can't judge music at all, but I'm saying that like for some literal randoms to tell you this is the best artist or this is the best song ever, especially people have a bias because of like, social political reasons, is just whatever. But yeah, I do want to talk about that real quick. And again, Drake, you put yourself in your own shoes. So, I mean, he should have just played like Kendrick did.